Yeah, so hi everybody, just a quick update. We're here today at the Bedford River Festival. This is where a lot of my problems started. It's a very corrupt town that goes from police services, health services, child services, nursery settings, this whole town really, to be honest, and it's nobody in this town wants to take responsibility for missing children, children that they've fraudulently removed and taken from mothers and fathers that didn't deserve to have their children taken. Their chief executive, Martin Purbrook, owns a nursery. He's accepting and allowing his staff to fraudulently write reports to get children removed. It's just unbelievable what is happening in the childcare sector, and even the police failed duties and responsibilities, to be honest. So yeah, we're here in Bedford today. There's a festival going on. It's usually a 2-day festival. I believe it happens once every 7 years. But yeah, there's like a little mini fun fair carnival. Usually, I think they're hiding this year. Usually they have the social workers out on a scout parading, trying to inform people about how great foster care is. I don't see them here today. But we'll have a further scout, but I haven't seen them. But yeah, I don't know, there.
Yeah, well, what's been going on with Ocean? And have you had any luck about getting her back?
Wow, no updates on Ocean since the police came in February and told me that they didn't know where the child was or how she'd sustained certain injuries. Councillor in Cambridge wrote a fraudulent reply to say basically the police said a different response. Just a lot of avoiding the subject. What they then done was they haven't investigated where the missing child is, how the injuries have been sustained, but they've had a fraudulent court case. The court case, there was no listing for that day. It was checked via my legal representative. There was no listing even for the date of the 23rd of June. It was listed originally. I received an email from a social worker, not a court, for 3:30, and the judge made the order at 1:55. That's Article 6 breach straight away. But it's the same judge that worked corruptly. Someone's informed me that she owns 6 foster homes. She's spelling her name differently now. It's just unbelievable. So I was denied entry into an adoption court case, but when my legal representative called Peterborough courts, there was no listing for that day. But like it's just a cover up it's a way to avoid looking for the child and where the child is and what's actually happened.
In any way possible and not give you a chance.
Exactly. Or to even uphold the wrongs. They've upheld the wrongs, what they've done, but they haven't made no recoveries to bring the child back. They've upheld data was incorrect. There were some things written that wasn't true. Where's my child? So they've used a court case to cover up the fact of they don't know where she is, and the last I heard, police didn't know where she was. They didn't know how the injuries were upheld. I'm receiving emails with no watermarks, no logos, court orders where the logos are moving. The court orders are not even coming through the courts. I've not received no post, no email from the courts per se. They're just coming through a social worker who I've never seen or no knowledge of, or who was an Ocean social worker in the court case.
Yeah, that's really dodgy. You can tell obviously, they're up to no, they're just up to them.
Yeah.
Trying to steal kids from families and
Yeah. The longer they avoid, the more stuff I'm finding. I'm actually going to give a rundown. I found It's a buried article, let's say that, a buried article, and it's actually regarding this town where I'm sitting today, Bedford, and how big the trafficking rings are that they actually are hiding. So I come across this article, and I think it's important that everybody hears, because it affects a lot of areas.
Yeah, because all the council are in on it, aren't they?
Yep, councils are in on it, judges are in on it, magistrates are in on it. Yep.
That's just crazy. We're just unaware of what's going on around our country.
Yep. It's all buried because it's in their hands. Sorry, I'm getting poor signal here.
Yeah, this is where it all started for you, isn't it?
Yep. Yep.
What exactly, you want to explain how it started?
Wow.
On there and what you had to go through?
Wow. See, my court case goes back to 2017. And in a nutshell, to keep it simple, we'll have to do another interview. It's very long-winded in my case, and what they've done is made it as complex as possible, allowed my bundle to exceed pages because it's more expensive legally for you to get someone to represent you, and I know it's virtually impossible for someone to sit and read just under 4,000 pages of lies, trials and errors. Basically, Ocean's court case was a cover-up of a mistake that had gone wrong with a previous child, two previous children actually, and they lied and said that my sister's son was my child, used my data to remove that child, and police now are refusing to update the records that are incorrect. They said, I'm waiting on an appeal since November, I still have no answer. But they've said that they're refusing to basically remove the data that's incorrect about myself. Let me see if this article's come up. I'm getting such bad signal here.
We need to expose all of them.
Yeah, well this news...
We know it's a lot of people down there.
A lot of victims. There's a lot of actual social workers that own businesses in Croydon, nurseries, linked to families. There's a guy called Alex Kayumbi. He was in Bedford, he moved to Lambeth, and then child abuse started coming out there, what was going on, so he scarpered then to Southampton, and now I believe he's self-employed, so he's saying, so he can just bounce around and not take no accountability. But there's a lot of, his family's got a lot of businesses surrounding children, and the boroughs that he manages are a mess.
These social workers, they're not meant to have their own...
It's conflict of interest, that's what it is. Especially if you're doing things fraudulently to remove children, and parents are finding out via company's house, which is public record, so we're not doing nothing wrong, we're not doing anything out of the law, like what they do when they gather data and get other sectors to dig into your stuff without consent or without you knowing, which medical records are not public records. Certain court papers are not public records. There's just no levels of privacy with these people.
Yeah, they're basically using kids as a product, basically. To make money.
Well, wait till you see this article.
Yeah.
It's very, very sad actually, and it's shocking what the UK has turned out to be, and the fact of it's they know we know, but they're not stopping. They have a target to take 2.5 million children by the year 2025, I believe.
Yeah.
How can you predict how much parents are going to need social service intervention? You can't have you should have a target to say, right, we aim to keep 2.5 million children at home.
Can't believe it, like sometimes we come across this stuff, it's just...
Right, I'm going to go through this. So like I said, this was a very article I found. Teacher and a surgeon held in child porn war. Blitz on perverts. We have even seized pictures of newborn baby being abused. Police Chief Carol Howlett pictured. And then it goes on to read, a school teacher and a top surgeon have been arrested as part of Britain's biggest child porn investigation. Nigel Kitchen, 41, a science master, resigned after police informed Summerfield School, Oxford, of allegations that he had a large quantity of indecent images of youngsters. Bachelor Mr. Kitchen has now moved out of his home close to the school. Detectives seized a computer from the home of vascular surgeon Christopher Latimer, 39, who was bailed by police. He has taken sick leave from his job as a consultant at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Margate, Kent, and cancelled operations at the Cheshire Hospital in nearby Canterbury, where he treats private patients. The two men were arrested as part of Operation Or, a worldwide crackdown on paedophiles which has thrown up more than 7,000 suspects in Britain alone. More than 100 suspects have been arrested here, including 21 police officers, 6 teachers, civil servants, magistrates and social workers. Detectives say that about 95% of the suspects are so-called respectable middle-class men with no previous criminal convictions. Because this is the issue. Even though we know they're doing crimes, until the police or the courts step up or MPs step up and follow through with actions, we know they're doing criminal, but until they're charged, what they're doing is not a crime.
Right.
Do you know?
I've seen a lot of MPs. There's literally a long list of them. That's
Yep.
sex offences and all that.
Since January, I think, was it 50 MPs had been found for sex abuse charges or that kind of nature of.
And they're still working as MPs.
Yep.
How do they have their jobs?
Because the police are not doing what they're meant to be doing. The police are protecting these people, but we'll get to why the police. We'll get to where their part plays in this. It's disgraceful. They include 2 policemen connected with the inquiry into the Soho murders of Jessica Chapman and Holly Wales. These was 2 girls, 5 and 6, sisters, I think, and basically they was sexually abused and murdered. Basically, it's a really sad case. I don't know if people are familiar with the Jessica Chapman and Holly Wales case, but this article goes on to say Mark Taylor, head of classics at Pound, 16,000 a year rugby school in Warwickshire, was suspended after being arrested and bailed. Alex Fraser, 43, responsible for all customs IT services, was arrested at his Surrey home. 15 children have also been taken into care. Presumably this is their children. Deputy Assistant Commissioner Carol Howlett, who is leading investigations, said there has been a feeling this is just like looking at pornography. It's not. A child has been raped or buggered or defiled to create these images. We've seen pictures of a baby being abused literally just out of the womb. That poor baby was still attached to its umbilical cord. In some cases, abusers force children into acts in front of a webcam in effectively a live pay-per-view service. As priority, we are dealing with those who have direct access to children and those with younger families. But there are only 3 paedophile units in the country run by the Metropolitan Police, West Midlands and Greater Manchester Forces, and they have fewer than 30 staff altogether. In Scotland, there are 700 suspects. In Scotland, 700 suspects alone. 279 in Cambridgeshire. But yet the police are avoiding. This is the area that's responsible for Baby Ocean, Cambridgeshire. Because in April 2020, my court case designated or changed due to me moving area, but I had already moved area. So really, Cambridge should have been dealing with me. I shouldn't have been dealing with these 2 boroughs. I shouldn't have been dealing with the borough of Bedford, and I should not have been dealing with Cambridge. So I had 2 boroughs. I had 13 witnesses against me in court, and all of them sat there and told lies. They all sat there with projectors on, they all sat there with other mobile phones, they all sat there with other people connected to the phones, and this court case was allowed to go on in Peterborough courts. So yeah, 279 in Cambridgeshire, 200 in Kent, and 1,000 in the London area. That is a lot of concern to, no, these are the suspects to people that are abusing these children. These are the suspects, these are the number of suspects. And Bedfordshire, we have 60 solid cases. Cheshire and Northampton both have 70 suspects and Durham 20.
Have they been charged? Or?
No. Suspected criminals.
Yeah. They're not doing
But there's a lot that are slipping through the net. There's a lot that are getting into these services and using these services to abuse children. It goes on to read, investigators now believe as many as 90 police officers may be involved in child porn.
90.
So police officers are involved in this.
So they're meant to be enforcing.
They're meant to be enforcing the law, not breaking the law. But they're breaking it left, right and centre.
That's why I just can't believe sometimes like this. Like,
They're breaking it to left, right and centre. This report is so sad. It goes on to say, we've capped on a baby on an umbilical cord. Some cases, abusers are forcing children into acts. Now, I've spoken since doing this and being out. I've spoken to many people that have actually, I'll say, gravitated towards me and want to open up about their experiences of being in a care home. Now, I met a boy, a man. He had a very young mind. I don't say that in a wicked way. He told me himself it's due to the trauma. He gets stuck as being a child. He said he used to get taken out of a care home. He used to get taken to rich middle class men and basically exploited, sexually exploited, and then taken back to the care homes. He said he was bounced around many different places.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of bad stories about care homes. Some of them, they've not just been like saying.
What they're essentially doing is taking these children from safe homes, so they can profit, being viewed on a web view. Now, I've got some proof of some people that was involved in Baby's Ocean's case. They have services to filming. Why would a social worker have links or ties to filming industry when they're writing fraudulent reports? And we've just read a report like this of who's involved in these children going missing, who's involved in these children being trafficked. I'll say the words trafficked because that's what it is. If you remove somebody forcefully, falsely from their setting or their environment where they reside, that is unfortunately trafficking. Abduction. Thank you. Why do police not think these things are crimes? Why do police not think it's a crime that a child has got 29 stitches in her neck? Why do these police not think it's a crime that there's mothers and fathers screaming that they have something wrong with their court papers? Fake birth certificates, allegations, fake medical records, duplicate medical records.
No one has to, say do anything about it. Like they're working for the elites, basically.
And look, it says here magistrates people was involved. Magistrates, they sit and hear your cases. So let me just get up the proof of one of the people that was involved in Baby Ocean. That's what I'm saying, because I've done the policeman's job. I've had to. The only thing I need is, I don't even say they've got powers, because what everybody fails to realise is the public means more than the law. We need people coming forward. We need people talking. We need people stating their stories. We need people not being scared of being gagged if criminal stuff has happened to you throughout court. If wicked things are happening to your baby in care proceedings and they're failing to safeguard and protect, which is their job. Trying to criminalise exactly that. So I just want to get up proof of this business that's registered, linked to a social worker. There's multiple filming industries tied to social workers. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. You got articles. Police don't want to act because, as you've just read, there's 90 police officers involved in this. And do you know what? Quite frankly, them numbers, I think, quite low actually. There's 1,000 suspects in London alone, and there's only 90 police involved. This went from Scotland to Bedford to Northampton to London to, was it Dumfries? Yeah.
It's big, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
And they're hiding it. And what they're hiding, quite frankly, is more than meets the eye now. There's people that ain't even on the surface of I'd say this earth. They're being hidden in places that are just unforeseen and just so unreal. And people are waking up. People are wising up. Sorry, I've got really poor, I think it's all the speakers and all the music that's connected around here. Just because I like to do everything with proof. I'm not a conspiracy theorist when I've got the evidence. To be honest, when I'm reading some of this stuff, it is making me sick. Restless nights. Obviously my child is still out there, and I know what happened in my case. Courts was used to traffic the child, but now the child's gone missing from a care system. Everybody's backed up their hands, but then there's been this fraudulent court hearing where I was refused entry into. Appeal system, quite frankly, is just a waste of time. They upheld last year that they had 2 human rights breaches in my court case, which was moderate, was mild. I'm surprised they even upheld those. But apparently no merits. So how is this system working? How is this law working? Inaccurate information. They held up my complaints for as long as possible, and then after the court case, they started all upholding all what they've done wrong. It's just like, do you know what I'm saying? They're punishing like sticks and stones.
It's disgusting, man. Has it affected you, like your mental health? You know, have you been on edge or felt anxiety? Or...
To be honest, I feel like I've just been doing this for so long. It's like, what will be, will be. These people have gone to some very deep extremes. My main concern is my child that is out there. That is my concerns. My concerns is the other parents that are just stepping their foot into the court door process and they're blind. My concerns are how many kids are actually missing from the care system. My concerns are, do you know what I'm saying, all the money they'll spend on doing this after 50 MPs get up and walk, or do you get what I'm saying? It's just part of a sick vendetta or plan or scheme what they've got, so that they prosper and everybody else goes down and down and down. The generation are wiped out. There's no other way. I just don't understand why there's a system doing the complete opposite. It's like a fireman coming and standing and not getting the cat out of the tree, or not hosing down the fire. It just doesn't make sense. Yet our taxpayers' money goes into their pockets. For what? Sorry, I'm just getting this up. Right, I might need to type it in by name, proposed to address. I think it's important that people read articles, type in child abuse. Do you know what I'm saying? Start tying the dots, start going on companies' houses yourself, seeing if your people are doing things to prosper. Fraud, yep. Because there's a lot going on that's hidden. Right, so it's this address here. So I'll face the screen this way in a second. I'm just going to try to open a multi-screen. So here we've got a business in Kettering. It's actually active right now, and it's called Unilife Media. Unilife Media. Now on Goose Street there's quite a few child trafficking rings. There's very odd professions being held by connects of social workers. We've just all read the report. I'll get cameraman to post up a description, in the description the link, so you guys can read that article for yourself in case you want to keep reading over it, start tying some of these dots yourselves. But this is real life. My daughter is with some of these people. So this business is called Unilife Media, 15 Googe Court, Kettering, England, NN15 5FG. It's actually active right now. Appointed on the 9th of May 2022, marketing consultant. Now when you click on it and you get an overview of the business, now the nature of business reads motion picture, video and television program, post-production activities. And then the next underneath is activities of business and employers' membership organisations. So you remember that report spoke about children being viewed on the webpage. So this is one of the leads here. So if I can do that so quickly now sitting here, why has it taken police years and years and years and years and years to dodge? Do you know what I mean?
What do you think they're doing with like a film organisation? Sort of,
Pornography, child pornography, child abuse. There's actually people that are sick enough to pay to watch children be abused. There's people sick enough to want to touch a child and film it. Unfortunately, there's people actually sick enough out there in this world to do these corrupt acts. And a lot of these, what I'm reading, are magistrates, as you just see, 90 police officers, social workers. So that's what I'm saying. People think, why would a social worker write a fraudulent report to get a child? Why would they not? If they're prospering it from in a more sinister way, why would they not? Why would a police officer put on a uniform and put on a badge and have all the power in the world to abuse? It doesn't. People can't wrap their heads around it. But the proof is here.
anyone can look it up. So.
And now there's a couple of them set up on this street that all have businesses connected to children with roles. Sorry, let me just get up. So I think the last time I counted there was actually 12. Now, and what you need to now remember the areas that was mentioned in this article. So here now, this person's linked to the man's name I just read, Scotland. So you see the ties to the newspaper article that's been buried. Scotland, that was one of the areas mentioned. And how many suspects was there? 700 alone in Scotland. You see how the rings tie. This is child trafficking. This is how it works. All the dots connect. They've got businesses registered in Northampton, rolled up in a line. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's what else? They go on. We've got number 9, number 12, number 15. Nature of business, other professional, scientific and technical activities not elsewhere classified. Testing. People think that there's not children being tested on. My daughter's neck was cut open and my initials were sewn into her, 29 stitches. But I've got emails, it wasn't done by a GP or medical professional. So who done this? That's a business at 9 Good Street. It just goes on and on and on. Number 14, transportation. So next door to each other, we've got transportation, we've got scientific activities, health activities, we've got uni and filming, and we've got transportation. That's literally just on one street. And some of them have residency in Scotland. But the police don't know who the suspects are. The police don't know who the suspects are. This is a concern, that they're just still being able to roam and use their badges because the police are getting out of it what they also want.
No, I don't know why people aren't taking action and being concerned about what they're doing. This could happen to anyone's child.
It's happening to a lot.
Yeah.
And even this hot weather, let me just get up a map of the areas of this weather, because there's been a lot of talks about tunnels. Now I've sat on something for a couple of weeks.
That is also something that I've been looking into as well.
Right, heat wave. Let's just get up a map of this, because I couldn't celebrate the heat because I knew what the real heat was. Right, let me get up a map of this. So we've had a lot of heat here in the UK, a lot of heat, and for some of you, you're celebrating it, you love it. Unfortunately for me this year, I've wised up. I've been doing a lot of investigations. I can't enjoy the heat. Heat rises. Heat rises. Now, some of these social workers, I found family named Badzar. Badzar was a man, he tried to break into my home. He stared at me through my window while I was in my underwear. This is when I first moved into my property, so I did have curtains up, but they was thin. Or I think I just had a frost in at the window and all my clothes was downstairs because I hadn't decorated the bedroom, the furniture wasn't up. And
Who was he, a social worker?
he was meant to be a social worker. Meant to be, I say meant to be. He worked for Bedford, despite the fact of me living in Cambridge. But when I checked on Social Work of England, he was registered to Enfield Borough. I've done a bit more digging on him. He owns a company called Delight Homes in Stevenage, which is actually nursing homes. He's using 2 nationalities, Zimbabwean, and on another page he's using the nationality of British. So is he a social worker? Is he a nurse? He's also got a transportation business to the address of 12 Good Street. And he followed me for 3 hours. I'm waiting for police to get back to me on a response since March 2020. I'm still waiting. I've been ignored.
So what was he actually doing? Was he trying to intimidate you?
He was trying to break into my house with his colleague. She uses the name Anna Karamba. She works for Bedford. Since me speaking out, I've also had other mums reach out to me and say that she's also lied to them about their job position. She's going around telling people that she's a practitioner manager. When somebody wrote a complaint, it came out she was actually a student. She was a student social worker.
Yeah.
So they're just using and breaching the whole of the UK's data to universities. Our data is not really being held by professional people. These are university students. There was another newspaper article that came out about the universities trafficking, but what they missed out was they're actually trafficking innocent children. They wrote about the old people, which in this article reads about patients that was targeted. Patients have been sexually abused. In whose care? Are they aware? Are they being jabbed with NHS medication while they're in hospitals, thinking that they're being cared for?
Yeah.
Are their relatives aware? This baby on an umbilical cord, it's a concern. A baby was sexually abused on an umbilical cord. It's a concern. What was the mum out of it? Was it? Do you know? I can't fathom. But there's been a lot hidden behind COVID. Quite frankly, their doors are still shut. Their doors are still shut. There's been a lot going on behind closed doors. And if people are not reading and they're not checking out who their social workers are, who their local MPs are, who are these MPs that walked away, it's not hard. You just go onto company's house. Go and look it up. If you have a concern, if you think this doesn't fit right. A lot of these people have their own side businesses. Yes, it's not illegal to have a side business, but it is if you're being conflict of interest and you're using fraudulent reports. It is if children are being abused for financial reasons and gains. I'm trying to find the map where it says all the places. I want to show everybody a map, and then I want to show you how far these people will go to get kids in and out of the country using tunnels. It's not a conspiracy theory. Go and check out French catacombs. It's not a conspiracy theory. I've got proof.
Yeah,
right
they
here.
tell people not to go down there, but I'm wondering why exactly they say that.
Because it's hidden. It's hidden. What do you do with so much bodies? You've illegally stolen? This Nigerian couple that was caught bringing organs into the UK with a little boy. Man's
Right.
organs. This is happening all in the UK. And do you know what? For me, yeah, I'm happy for everybody here that they can all enjoy their lives, but it scares me. It honestly scares me because, like you said, it could be anybody. It could be her, it could be him, and I keep stressing this.
Once you go, it's like a rabbit hole. You know,
like
once you go down, you just, you know it's there. And
right, I can't find the full map. I think it had France on there, Amsterdam, Scotland. But some areas was really, really hot. Now, I've been doing a lot of digging, I'm gonna have to release again in parts, drips, but just literally icing on the cake Right, so what I done was, on Company's House, I typed in one family surname. I'm in this town. He's apparently works for this town. So let's expose what's been happening in their town and the people that they're connected to and the real reasons behind them wanting people's children. So right, Company's House. I typed in one surname, and that was Badzar. So Badzar. Right, cool. And what came up for Badzar was 78 matches found. That's one.
See that?
That's one circle of relatives. That is one circle of relatives that is tied to child trafficking using one surname. Right, so it gets quite deep. It gets deep. So Agrippa Munyaradzi Badzar, she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 businesses listed up for one person, right? Now this girl is linked to, again, that Northampton Kettering address I just showed you with the filming, right? Sorry, 1 second. I think it's this one. Now what she does is, bearing in mind, you've just asked me what job position on he is. I couldn't even tell you because I was told he was a social worker, but online searches, if you just type his name in, will say he's a nurse. He wasn't registered to the borough where he was working. He's got an address in Scotland, address in Northampton. It's very, very much going on.
Yeah.
Right, so this lady here, Agrippa Badzar, she's actually Mainway Engineering Ltd. Other engineering activities. Right? Now this dissolved in 2019, but this came from, look, as you can see, Doncaster, which is Leeds. I mean, sorry, not Leeds, Yorkshire. Sorry, bear with me. She's got a lot going on here. Mechanical technician, she's using on as the occupation. Mechanical engineer, Zimbabwean. The Reeve, 12 Reeve Close, Leighton Buzzard, Bedfordshire, LU7 4RX. This has been going on. What they've actually been doing is constructing underground stuff for as long as we've been blind.
Well, child
The
trafficking
5G towers was a distraction. They wasn't a distraction because they're still killing us. But what I mean by distraction is if they was digging holes for 5G towers, then we wouldn't have known that people would soon be filling them holes too.
Right.
It's just, look, like different business after business. Sale of motor vehicles. So she's a mechanical engineer. She sells motor vehicles. So she says. She's Zimbabwean. She's got 7 businesses, or has had 7 different businesses. Non-MUK limited. Occupation, mechanical engineer. Now this one was the concern for me. This one here is real. If this does not wake people up after this, then I don't know what will. So this company here, which is still active by the way, it's actually called 10XL Limited. It's active. The director is Agrippa Badzar. Her nationality, she's Zimbabwean. She's a mechanical engineer. Now when I click on 10XL Limited, what comes up will actually shock you guys to the core.
That's on the Gov.uk side.
First of all, they're charging us 50%. Our electric and our gas bills are going up. Can you tell me why they're not even paying their tax? So they haven't been paying their taxes, but it's affecting the whole of the UK. Judges have accounts like this. Accounts overdue. Right, so let's keep going. Nature of business. Urban and suburban passenger railway transportation by underground, metro and similar systems. Nature of business again, engineering design activities for industrial process and production. Does that answer a lot of people's questions as to where these children are? The address is 116 Chase Way, London, United Kingdom, N14 5DH. There's a man, Alan Tate something I believe his name is. If you type in Welsh children tunnels, what you actually hear is children underground being shot. You hear a baby that is murdered underground. You hear kids screaming that they want to go home to their mummies. You hear kids screaming they are scared This is real. Look, they've got one here. Now, when you look up what this business is, underground, tunnels, railways, let's just see what it looks like. Let's just see what it looks like, right?
You were telling me about the couple, the old couple that
The old couple, yeah,
noises.
this is the Welsh couple, yeah. They could hear noises under their basement. And rather than police deal with it, it was never investigated. The 66-year-old couple was actually gassed out of their homes, firebombed, attacks happened to their homes at the stake of the police.
By the police.
By the police. They don't know how to investigate. They don't know how to investigate. How? Look, the company, guys, is called 10XL. This is an underground tunnel leading to somewhere where children are being harboured, abducted, abused, sexually exploited. It's in London, 116 Chaseway N14. They're not even paying their accounts overdue. I'm going to be making a video again to show you how much people are conning the tax system and how much it's affecting us. There's families that can't afford to eat. There's people protesting gas, electric, energy rises. Look, it's them. It's them. Rishi Sunak's wife, what was she caught with? What was she caught with? But yeah, they're swimming in swimming pools in their backyards and their accounts are overdue. Do you know how much judges I've come over with accounts overdue? They're not even paying tax.
Not even paying tax, like.
They're not even paying taxes.
It's all dodgy.
So they're stealing, robbing. It's just like Robin Hood days. Robbing from the poor to give to the rich.
The opposite of Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Really.
But I couldn't get over this when urban and suburban passenger railway transportation by underground. So they're transporting people where? Underground. Look, it's there. The answer's there.
That's what. Yeah, that's
I couldn't make it up if I tried.
That's what I think they've been doing for quite a few years.
But when you look at the map, it's crucial. This is heat rises. People drilling underground would have this kind of effect.
Yeah, I heard there was an explosion somewhere in the Middle East.
All these railway things catching on fire randomly and they don't know how.
Yeah.
It's because of the heat. Or because they're trying to burn the evidence because they know that they're due to be rumbled very, very soon. Because the world is waking up. People, there's been a lot of talk on tunnels. There's one. And do you know what it is? It's just a normal house.
Yeah.
All you do is remove the cooker, you dig a hole and you go under. It's not hard.
Yeah.
How does your landlord know what you're doing? And you fill the cooker space again.
Yeah.
And there's a fat, big gaping hole and you're just putting bodies under and trading them from one part of the UK to the next, to Amsterdam, to France. Check out the hot flaming areas on this map.
Yeah.
It shows you where the activity is. That's where you'll find your tunnels.
Yeah.
That's where you'll find your tunnels.
This explosion from the Middle East, I think it's literally a tunnel that goes all the way to Scotland.
Look, I was just about to show you. Now, this is just, some things that I took. We was looking for some things and tunnels. Hold on. Look at that. People don't believe this stuff's real. People don't believe that this stuff is real. This is 100% real.
Yeah.
Gates, look, the gate's even open.
Right,
the gate's even open.
Yeah, the gate's there, yeah.
Underground.
They've been using these tunnels just to get
people.
Trafficking, like.
And this is the thing, everyone's saying, where are they? They're not on Earth. We can't see them. And I keep saying to people, look up, look down, look everywhere. Look up, look down, look everywhere.
Exactly.
But there are places now we can't even see.
Yeah.
Honestly, if there's any scuba divers that are watching this, if there's any people that are experienced with tunnels, there's kids, literally, go and watch the video Alan Tate made, because this has not got enough notification or enough attention.
Yeah.
Type in Welsh kids tunnels, you hearing a newborn baby being shot, you hear adults arguing down there about how people are being handled down there. You hear kids screaming, I want to go back home to my mummy, let me out. It's awful. It's awful. And to hear that there's patients being abused. Everybody was clapping the NHS. I couldn't do it. I couldn't.
Yeah.
But it's a lot going on right now. I feel like people just need to wake up, open their eyes. This is real. These businesses are still active. Instead of protesting or doing demos of certain areas, maybe we need to start going to the illegal businesses.
I think so, yeah.
Because
that's where
how can you sneak people underground if there's 50 odd people staring at you watching? on
Yeah.
guard.
Exactly, yeah.
It's a
I
house.
would
It's
like
just
to
a
go-
normal
I would
house.
like-
It looks like
I'd
a
like to
normal
go to
house that you walk
those
past.
tunnels where it's actually happening and
Exactly.
bring as many people as possible.
Exactly. But it's stressful. It's stressful, but the judge has had an unlawful court case. I've called the police. I've been ignored yet again. She heard the hearing before the time. My daughter's still out there. They don't know where baby Ocean is. And it's just quite sad actually that there's so much. I think how much kids have gone missing from care? Is it 2,000? No, more than that. I can't even remember the figure, but there's a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, is there anything else you wanna?
Just
Wanna
everybody, you don't have to let them in. It's not against the law to refuse them entry into your homes.
Yeah. That's the main thing, because then
Until the courts make
when
an
you let
order,
the
anything
social
you're
workers
doing.
in,
It's
that's
just when you're letting them in, you're just giving them an opportunity to build a
Yeah.
fake case. You're putting your kids at harm. You're seriously putting your kids at harm. Social workers,
They're not there for your own.
they're not there for your own
benefit.
interest. They're there for other stuff. As you can see, that was titled Child Pornography War. This is a war, and this will turn into a civil war. How long are they going to keep their doors shut? How long are they going to ignore parents?
I think it will happen at some point when people realise what's going on. So
Well, the sooner people all stand together, you know, keep sharing. I want to come on regularly and do updates just to
Yeah,
let
we
you
will
all know
definitely be
I'm
doing
alright,
that.
because there's a lot of you I know that panic about me. Thank you so much literally for the support. I'm literally not going to stop until Ocean's returned, and every other kid, any other parent. Like, I get a lot of parents overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with, what do you tell a parent? What do you tell a parent when you know there's no such thing as a care system? My child's supposed to have a foster carer called Donna. There's no such woman called Donna.
Yeah.
She actually works for Cambridgeshire Council.
Exactly, yeah.
She works for the council. As long as they write in black and white, it's the truth. As long as they write in black and white and their paperwork all looks tidy and how they need it to look, it's the truth. But meanwhile, my child's
really
still out there.
away, you don't know where
Being
she
put on a
is.
webcam. I saw her at Contact, and multiple times I had issues with her private areas being read, but it wasn't nappy rash. It wasn't what these people said. I reported it to Cambridgeshire police, and they kept on erasing the reports. There's no data of me or Ocean on a system because they've made such an error with it. It's like they've either erased it all, or because they're so far deep involved and they've had to uphold, yes, we wrote fraudulent reports.
Yeah.
They didn't know the extent. I don't think they knew the extent of what this was. And I feel like the UK is not the UK. It's not UK owned anymore because of the people that have come into the UK and are abusing the system and profiting off of the UK citizens.
Exactly. Like, must be, I can't imagine how it feels,
And it's just
your kid to be
frustration.
away from
It's
you.
frustration that so much people that are just public citizens are willing to step out for the children, but the people who are meant to have the powers are not, or they're actually on board with what is going on.
Yeah. We're not going to stop.
Yeah, we're not going to stop. And this is the thing. Every time, the longer it takes, that's what I'm saying, the more I'm finding, the more heart-wrenching stories I'm finding, not to do with me, necessarily my case, but this case here, the suspects are still walking around because these are the people that it's talking about. Some of these people whose businesses I've just shown, which police won't do nothing because they're obviously getting money.
Yeah.
Or they're getting some other kind of sick thrill out of it, as we just read here. 90 police suspects involved in child pornography. It's abuse. It's abuse of process. It's abuse of process.
Yeah.
Putting on a badge, putting on a uniform to go and bully members of the public and steal children does not make them strong.
No, you're there to
if there's any police
enforce the
watching
law
this, if there's any
protect people.
of you watching this, you're making an awfully bad rod for your backs. When this comes out, and it will come out because everything always comes to surface. 50 MPs don't just get up and walk for no reason. Do you get what I mean? It's just unfortunate there's not enough people asking questions, and if they are, their voices are not being heard. But we're not stupid. We are not stupid.
No. But yeah.
Thank you for having me again.
That's right. Well, anytime. It's always good to hear from you because you're quite knowledgeable and
it's just for me now. It's it's not just about Ocean for me. You hear me talk passionately about Ocean, and why I say her name a lot is to keep her name alive. But I do care about other people. I do care about other babies. I do care about grown men whose organs are being brought into the UK. Where is the body to this man? Where?
Exactly, yeah.
Was they responsible for the that's what I'm saying, because what they're doing as well is they're just sticking to one topic, or this happened and fraud was done, but they're not talking about the children, or human trafficking was done, but they're not talking about the children. They're not talking about the kids that are being exploited, lost from care, taken out of care to meet and fit anybody's purpose and needs. And do you know what, any word I say is too mild.
I know.
Any word I say is too mild.
I understand why you're passionate, so.
But yeah, thank you for having me. I'm gonna walk down here, talk to a couple people, spread some awareness, ask them if they know what's going on. Have they been affected by their local council, which is Bedford, because obviously I'm in Bedford today. I'd never come here to celebrate. The last time I actually came here, I was pregnant with baby Ocean. And it was hot. I think it was a very hot day as well. But I must have sensed something. I just didn't feel right. I've never felt right. This town is literally like the Bermuda Triangle. Like I'm saying, there's not one responsible, honest professional that actually follows a code of conduct. Not one.
Well, we're going to expose it all.
Yep, of course.
Including here.
Of course.
Every other place. So.
But yeah, thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks for
thank you. Please sign the petition if you haven't already. Find me on Facebook, O Lewis Mill on Agisti Nibby. But yeah, you should be hearing a lot more of me. I'm trying to get something a bit more structured. I want to actually set up like a mini boot camp so I can show people, like
that would be a
local
good idea.
Authority or public authority survival kit. Because there's a lot of people that are reaching out to me for help. I'd rather make the one video, people can watch it rather than me having to. Do you know what I'm saying? I still have to be out here doing stuff.
I've got a good idea of somewhere, where you can do it. We'll talk about that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, he's full of brilliant ideas always. But thank you for having me. Take care, everybody.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Bye.